Okay, that's on, I guess. If anyone finds this shit, this is Captain John Shephard of the ICS Antares, Interplanetary Colonies Transit Authority, Division A. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Let me translate that for you in plain language. I flew cargo. I signed forms I didn't read. I took my shots, followed procedures, did my little checklists, smiled for the press once or twice when they needed an old bastard in uniform for the brochure. And now I'm drifting straight into the asteroid belt on a locked course, waiting to get turned into high-speed glitter because some desk rat in Division B decided I don't need a retirement. So, if you're hearing this, one of two things happened. You found the black box floating in what's left of my ship, or we fucked up so badly even ICTA couldn't bury it. Either way, congratulations. You've stepped in it. First things first. Status report. I've got a head wound. Marcus hit me with a wrench. I'm pretty sure my ribs on the right side are cracked. My oxygen is low. My access is locked. My engines are still pushing me exactly where I don't want to go. The escape pod is gone. So are my crew. And before I run out of breath or patience, I need to tell you what they did, not just to me, but to anyone dumb enough to sign with ICTA and think civilian authority means safe. Spoiler, it doesn't. Let's start with the cover story. Officially, we're ICTA, the Interplanetary Colonies Transit Authority. We move cargo between colonies, Mars, Moon, Ceres supply lines, logistics, freight, frozen water, machinery, medical crates, the boring shit that keeps everyone else alive. They split us into two main groups, but they only tell you about one. Division A, that's me. That was Kayla. We're the haulers, the ship's techs, the people who fix leaks and reset breakers and fly simple routes between rocks so politicians can stand in front of maps and talk about expansion of human presence in the solar system. We get safety briefings. We get HR emails. We get mandatory wellness checks. We get told we're the backbone of civilization. Sounds cute, right? Then there's Division B. They don't put that one in the recruitment pamphlet. Division B are the shadow boys. They sit behind mirrored glass, write protocols with 4 layers of classification, and look at people like me and Kayla and think in terms of acceptable statistical loss. Division A moves the crates. Division B decides what's really inside. And then there was Marcus Hale. Officially, Lieutenant Marcus Hale, co-pilot ICS Antares. Unofficially, Division B, handler, babysitter, executioner. I'm getting ahead of myself. You want to know why an old freight pilot is dying out here? 'Cause I walked past a sleeping idiot with his data pad open. That's it. That's the whole damn reason. We were on, what? Day 10? 11? Of the run. Time stretches out when you're staring at stars and engine readouts. 3 of us on board. Me, Captain John Shephard, Division A. Kayla Ritter, ship's tech, also Division A. 20-something. Too young for this shit. Marcus Hale, pretending to be one of us. Ship, ICS Antares. Nice ship. Solid. Reliable. At least she used to be. We'd done the flip mid-course, engines turned, now burning the other way to slow us into Ceres orbit. Standard stuff. Skeleton crew, long burn, nothing exciting. Marcus had been twitchy the whole trip, never sleeping well, jumping at system pings, always double-checking his personal health monitor like he expected it to start screaming at him. Didn't think much of it. We all have our quirks. Space gets into your head. Then, on one off shift, he decides to help himself to the ship's morale cabinet. Every long-range ship has one. Bottle of scotch or two, old tradition. He downs a glass. Then I see him pop something from a little white blister pack. Pill. Wasn't the first time. Can't sleep, Captain, he said a couple of nights before. Doctor's orders. Right? This time, though, the mix hits him harder. Maybe the burn, maybe stress, maybe God finally doing something useful. He finishes updating something on his data pad at the forward console, takes another sip, and then just sort of tips his head back in the couch and drops. Out. Deep. I was doing a routine walkthrough, checking engine readouts, talking shit with Rail to stay awake.
Environmental levels nominal.
Yeah. Keep clapping. Maybe the engines will blush. I come up to the bridge, and there he is, our Division B Golden Boy. Uniform perfect, badge shining, mouth open, out cold. Datapad still in his hand, screen still warm. I wasn't trying to snoop. I wasn't looking for secrets. I was just going to turn the damn thing off so it didn't burn into the console. Then I saw it. My name, right there on the header of a classified file. Subject: Shephard John, Trial Series 02. You ever get that drop in your gut? That cold, falling feeling like you've just stepped out an airlock without checking the tether? Yeah. I looked at Marcus, out like a rock, snoring. I looked at the pad again. And because I'm an idiot, because curiosity is stronger than self-preservation, I tapped it. Turns out for the last couple of years, I wasn't just a pilot. I was a lab rat. You know those mandatory health shots they give us? The ones that come with warm smiles and, "It's standard, Captain, you know how it is. Can't have you catching Martian strep." Yeah, those. Turns out ICTA's little friends in Division B have been using those shots to put something else in my blood. Tiny things. Structures they can't reproduce, can't print, can't explain. They call it non-human origin microtechnology in the report. Very polite. In the unofficial notes, the ones not meant for basic Division B eyes like Marcus, it has a different name. Unknown to human tech. Found deep under the frozen crust of Ceres in the subsurface ocean. Frozen there longer than our species existed. They drilled, they found it, they brought it up, they stuck it in a box. Then someone had a bright idea. Well, we don't know what it does, so let's put it inside a human. Trial Series 01, Subject 1, didn't end well. Unexpected systemic failure. That's how they put it. No details. Just a line and a timestamp. Subject 1's medical records end there, so they needed another subject. Subject 2. Me. Why me? Simple. No wife, no kids, no official dependents on record, almost at retirement age. Clean disciplinary file. Good health. Unremarkable enough that nobody would hold a parade if I vanished. Perfect test dummy. Years of shots. Tiny doses of unknown structured shit sliding through my veins while I signed forms and said, "Thanks, Doc." The datapad had logs going back 5 years. Blood work, neurological scans, sleep pattern analysis, all flagged for Division B access only. That's what Marcus was reviewing before he knocked himself out with pills and scotch. He didn't even know everything. His clearance only went so high. But it was enough. Enough for me to see words like, Subject 02 responding favorably to implantation. Neural adaptation within expected parameters. Recommended action. Final trial mission authorized. Disposal via protocol. Zulu post-analysis. Disposal. A nice word, isn't it? You don't retire from ICTA Division A. You get disposed of once they've collected enough numbers off your insides. I don't know how long I stood there, just staring at it. Long enough for my hands to start shaking. long enough for me to scroll. Log after log. Kayla's name not listed anywhere. She was just collateral, just the tech. Marcus flagged as field observer, Division B. Notes reminding him to collect the personal health monitor on extraction. Apparently, my internal readings were more valuable than my actual corpse. There were route details, too. We weren't logged as Mars to Ceres on the public side. We were registered as Mars to Moon and back, over and over. I wasn't an idiot. I knew we were flying to Ceres. I've been signing those classified trip forms for years. What I didn't know was that the nav files were double-coded. Division A got the fake supply manifest. Division B got the real one, the one that labeled me as cargo. I remember laughing. Actually laughing. That horrible, empty kind of laugh that sounds too loud in a quiet room. That's when I heard him move. Marcus woke up like someone had slapped him. Not like a man coming out of a nap. Eyes clear. No confusion. Just calculation. He saw me. He saw the data pad in my hand. We didn't need to say much. "John," he said, calm. Too calm. "Put that down." I didn't. I wish I could tell you I had some great speech prepared, some brave, defiant final line. I didn't. I just said, "You're a real piece of shit, you know that, Marcus?" He didn't argue. He didn't plead. He didn't try to explain. He just reached for the nearest thing with weight, a maintenance wrench from Kayla's toolkit, and swung for my head. Next part's fuzzy. I remember pain, a lot of it, the deck coming up too fast. Rail's voice doing that calm status thing in the background.
Warning. Unregistered impact detected on Deck 1.
I remember Kayla shouting something. "Marcus, what the hell are you doing?" And then another impact. Different sound. Duller. Heavier. You know when someone hits meat instead of metal. You learn the difference fast in certain jobs. Then, nothing. When I came back, my mouth tasted like dried blood and copper, and half my face felt like it had been used as a stress ball. The bridge was quiet. Too quiet. My head throbbed with every heartbeat. Vision doubled, then tripled, then grudgingly lined up. I tried to move. Everything complained. I didn't care. The first thing I checked wasn't my wound, wasn't the engines, wasn't the course. It was the chairs. Kayla's seat, empty. Marcus's seat, empty. Harness hanging loose, still slightly warm. The forward viewport showed stars drifting wrong. You get a feel for it after decades. You know when you're on a steady, controlled burn and when you're just falling. "Rail," I croaked. "Status report."
Good evening, Captain Shephard. Main engines at 40% thrust. Trajectory. Intercept course with primary asteroid cluster in 42 minutes. All manual navigational controls are restricted under Protocol Zulu.
Protocol what?
Protocol Zulu. Authorization level, Division B. Mission profile. Asset disposal and evidence sterilization.
"Asset disposal," I repeated. "That'd be me, I'm guessing."
Subject designation. Trial Series 02. Identity. Captain John Shephard. Status. Contaminated beyond acceptable recovery threshold.
Pretty funny, right? You serve your entire career flying tin cans between rocks, and at the end of it, your job title quietly changes from captain to asset. Kayla wasn't anywhere on the internal sensors. "Where's Kayla?" I asked, even though I already knew.
Crew member Kayla Ritter, ship's tech. Vital signs, terminated. Cause of death, blunt force trauma. Time of death, 4 hours, 22 minutes ago.
I swallowed. or tried to. My throat was dry. Of course, I muttered. Didn't want witnesses, did you, Marcus? The escape pod was gone. Rail confirmed it.
Emergency capsule jettison confirmed. Occupant, Lieutenant Marcus Hale. Launch vector opposite to current course.
So he did his job, hit the contaminated asset, killed the unnecessary witness, locked the main engines into a course that will smash ICS Antares into a nice, thick rock at high speed. Then took my internal health monitor and rode off into the dark like a good little dog. Let me tell you what Protocol Zulu does in case you ever see it on a screen near you. It locks out everything. Manual flight controls, dead. Engine vector adjustments, denied. Comm override, nope. Emergency beacons, set to malfunction. Wouldn't want anyone swooping in to rescue the contaminated subject, right? All I can do is change cabin lighting and talk shit into this recorder. The main engines are running just fine. They'll drive this ship right into an asteroid big enough to crush us into dust. And just in case that somehow isn't enough, the geniuses at Division B decided to pack extra charges along the frame. Little bombs tucked into structural joints, wired to blow at the moment of impact. So first we hit the rock. Then the extra boom goes off. Between the engines and the explosives, there won't be anything left of me, Kayla, or the unknown to human tech bigger than an atom. Clean, elegant, deniable. ICTA gets to mark us as lost due to navigational malfunction, and Division B gets their data from Marcus's little toy. Win-win. Except for us. Let me talk about those shots again, because if you're listening to this and you're flying for ICTA Division A, and someone in a white coat smiles at you and tells you to roll up your sleeve, you need to understand what's really in that syringe. The reports on Marcus's data pad said it clearly. Unknown structured microtechnology. Non-human origin. Recovered from under Ceres ice sheet 73. Initial tests on tissue cultures failed. Robotic simulations inconclusive. Biological trials required. They tried it on Subject 1 first. Different guy. I never met him. Trial Series 01. Human male, mid-40s. Good health. Result, unstable systemic reaction. Nervous system shutdown. Organ failure. They called it a containment breach in the external report. Then they refined the dosing schedule. Smaller amounts, longer time frame, integrated into mandatory health maintenance regimen. That's what they've been doing to me. The tech doesn't act like a virus. It doesn't make you cough. It doesn't give you a fever. It just sits, learns, builds patterns in your nervous system, turns your brain into a test bed. They didn't even know what they were looking for yet. Adaptation, they called it. Integration. There was a note in one of the logs tucked at the end. Subject 2. Exhibiting neural patterning not observed in Subject 1. Possibility of stable coexistence increased. Recommend final mission followed by controlled termination. Controlled termination. That'd be Protocol Zulu. So yeah, if you're a pilot or a tech or some fresh recruit with that shiny, I'm helping humanity look in your eyes, do yourself a favor. Get out. Transfer. Quit. Fake your death. I don't care. Because if you stay long enough, take enough shots, haul enough quiet runs to Ceres, under the label Mars Moon, you'll end up like me. Trial Series 03. You may be wondering, listening to this, John, do you feel different? Can you feel that unknown tech inside you? Does it talk? Do you see aliens in the corner? Nope. Sorry to disappoint. No whispers in the dark, no glowing eyes in the vents, no little green men dancing on the console. just headaches, insomnia, occasional tremors, and a half-dead old man talking into a recorder while an AI politely counts down to his explosion. If this is alien stuff, sorry, unknown to human technology, gotta use the proper term, it's not interested in conversation. Maybe it's too advanced. Maybe I'm too dumb. Or maybe it's just doing what it was made to do and we're the idiots who thought we could domesticate it. Wouldn't be the first time humans brought something home we shouldn't have. We did it with viruses. We did it with reactors. Now we're doing it with microscopic machinery we dug out of alien ice. Smart. Real smart. You know what the best part is? They were never going to tell anyone. Not Mars, not Moon, not Earth. If Marcus had done his job cleanly, nobody would ever hear about Trial Series 1 or 2. The logs would go to some encrypted archive. A committee would look at the results, nod, request more funding. Maybe 50 years from now, some colony would unveil a miracle new therapy for neural degeneration, and nobody would ask where it came from. They'd call it progress. That's why I'm recording this. That's why, even though my head feels like it's packed with broken glass, I'm still talking. Because somewhere out there's some poor bastard sitting in an ICTA clinic being told these shots are no big deal, just protocol. You deserve to know what protocol you're signing up for. You know, they put in my file, no family. Subject has no family or dependents. Low external risk. That's almost true. Almost. There's one person, somewhere. If some kid out there looks like me, sorry, kid. Your old man's dying in a tin can. I never put it on the forms, never put in the DNA registration, kept that piece of my life off the grid for once. Turns out, that's the only thing I did right. Because if ICTA or Division B knew he existed, you can bet your ass he'd already have a number assigned. Trial Series 04. How long we got, Rail?
Estimated time to primary impact, 9 minutes, 12 seconds.
9 minutes. That's generous. Any chance you could cancel Protocol Zulu for old time's sake? I ask because I'm an idiot.
Request denied. Your clearance level is insufficient to modify Division B protocols.
Of course it is. You ever notice how the AI never sounds upset? Ship's on a suicide run. 2 out of 3 crew are dead. Contaminated subject talking to himself. Rail sounds like he's reading a weather forecast.
Cabin pressure stable. Oxygen reserves at 21%. Structural integrity at 97%.
Not for long, I mutter. Here's the part where I'm supposed to say something poetic. Something about humanity. About how we shouldn't play with things we don't understand. But if you're listening to this, you already know that, don't you? You've seen what we do. Our history's not subtle. We find new tech. We strap it to a rocket or a rifle. And we point it at something valuable. The unknown to human microtech they pulled from Ceres. They're not trying to understand it, to make children's hospitals better. They're trying to turn it into control. Control over brains, control over bodies, control over entire colonies. And the first step was to make sure it doesn't kill us too fast. That's what I am. That's what Subject 1 was. A test to see how much of the unknown a human nervous system can hold before it collapses. Subject 1 failed. Subject 2, that's me. They got better results, longer survival, more integration. Then, instead of extracting anything or helping, or even just telling me the truth, they scheduled a neat little disposal run and sent Marcus to push the button. You know, I keep thinking about Kayla. Ritter, ship's tech, Division A, Big eyes, bad jokes, good hands. Always humming some song under her breath when she crawled through the access tubes. She thought this was a career, a path, something she could build a life on. She didn't sign up to be a witness. And in Division B's math, witnesses are just assets with no data attached. I didn't see her body. Maybe that's a mercy. But I heard enough in those first seconds after Marcus hit me to know she didn't go quick. If you're listening to this in an ICTA office somewhere and her file says training accident or unexpected decompression, you're being lied to. She died because some asshole in a black suit in Division B typed acceptable losses yes into a box. 5 minutes maybe. Hard to tell. Time gets slippery when the end's on rails. Rail, give me something useful.
Distance to impact, 20,000 meters.
Already?
Relative speed increasing. Main engines at 40% steady.
I reach down, pick up what's left of the scotch bottle Marcus raided. Half full. Mind if I drink on duty, Rail?
Disciplinary regulations are no longer applicable, Captain Shephard.
I actually laugh at that. Cheers, I say, and take a long, burning swallow. Hurts going down. Feels right. If this message makes it out, through the wreckage, through whatever filters ICTA slaps on it, through whatever red stamps Division B tries to slap over the file, here's what I want. If you're a pilot in Division A, get out. If you're a ship's tech like Kayla, get out. If you're some eager recruit transferring for the adventure, stop. Don't let them pump you full of shots you don't understand. Don't let them put you on special assignment to Ceres and tell you it's classified resupply. And if someone from Division B smiles at you and says you're being moved to a higher clearance role, run. You're not getting a promotion. You're getting a number. 1, 2, 3. There's only one person this message is really for. He doesn't even know I exist. Maybe that's for the best. But if somehow, someday you hear this, if some kid out there catches an old corrupted file labeled Antares Emergency Black Box and recognizes the face, know this. I didn't walk into this willingly. I didn't hand them my veins on purpose. And I am sorry.
Distance to impact, 10,000 meters.
All right, time's up. If you're on Mars, Moon, Earth, some rock with an antenna, and a half-awake comms tech, do something. Shut this program down. Burn Division B down to the studs. And if they tell you it's all fake, all some contaminated pilot's delusion, ask them to show you the unedited logs. They won't. That should tell you enough.
Distance to impact, 5,000 meters. Collision imminent.
Rail, I say. Do me one favor.
Specify.
Make sure this recording actually saves.
Emergency recording buffer at 99%. On impact, data will be transmitted on all available frequencies.
Good boy. I'd take one last sip. It doesn't make anything better, but it makes it easier.
Distance to impact, 1,000 meters. 400, 300.
Here we go. If anyone hears this, don't become number 3.
200, 100, impact, impact, impact.